All right, welcome into PrizePicks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at the 5 Reasons Sports. We've got a full boat today for an NFL Sunday. On the top, David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. We got Eric Wadicki. You can follow him at Eric Wadicki. We got David Friedman. You can follow him at Taco Bout Sports. It is windy. I feel like I'm in Chicago. Well, not really, but kind of. The Miami Dolphins play the New York Jets today. I have never felt less excitement for a 9-4 team than I do right now. It's just everybody's just expecting him to be 9-8, and just slink into the offseason at this point. I think that's how we're all conditioned. But the other thing is the conditions. We got to get into this today, and that's why we're going to debate Tua quite a bit because it is windy outside. So the two things that have been held against Tua, other than his health over the past couple of years, the health thing, I think we're kind of over that. Knock on something. The Dolphins like the only team in the league not playing a backup quarterback at this point, which is a surprise. But the other two things are, can he play without weapons and can he play in bad conditions? Well, we might see both today because Tyreek Hill remains questionable, although NFL Network is saying that the Dolphins are optimistic that he'll play. And Devon A-Chain looks like, I don't think he's going to play. Actually, we'll get the inactives here shortly, but there's not a whole lot on the board. So let's just debate Tua to start. Eversole, the passing yards number for him is 218.5. I mean, that's a good 3/4 for him typically. Would you play it over or under?
That's honestly the only number I don't really love. I think he can easily get there, but I think he can also just as easily not get there. The strength of the entire Jets team is their pass defense. But Tua has a lot of things that I do like. If I'm going to look at something for Tua, I'm going to take this 5.5 rushing yards all day long. Behind the patchwork O-line, lack of weapons, the first read's not there, he might be pulling the ball down and running. So if my favorite play on the whole board for Tua is over the 5.5 rushing yards, honestly, I think he will go over the 218, but I think the 5.5 rushing yards will come much easier.
All right. Eric, what would you play, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I come back to the 218.5, and I mean, I understand what David's saying about it. There is a good shot with the weather that he wouldn't get it, but even against Tennessee, when he was without Hill, and I know that the weather wasn't what it is today, he still ended up going for 240. I just don't trust Mike McDaniel to run the ball as much as is going to be necessary for Tua to not hit this over. So I even with the weather, I think they're still going to be very heavy on the pass game.
I think he froze.
I did?
No.
Ethan.
I think
it looks like Ethan,
okay.
bro.
So
what do you think, Friedman?
I'll take the 218 over 2. I think more than anything, like, not that they need to prove anything, but, the idea that they can't run this offense without Tyreek, they all have a little something to show, right? And especially Tua. So not that, if Sauce is on Jalen, maybe it's everywhere else. Maybe you get a Barrios game and a Craycraft, but 218 is way low for him. And they're not just going to completely change their game plan because of no Tyreek. So I like that number.
All right, so you're both playing it over. I'm sorry. As soon as I think a wind gust hit my phone and knocked me out, and just like as soon as got knocked out.
Conditions are rough indoors too.
So Chicago wins.
I was going to say I would play it over also. In fact, I just did.
Is he gone again?
Anyway, so
we're kicking you out, Ethan.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here he's back. All right, let's flip. We're gonna flip to Mostert, Ethan, before you drop out again.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I'm getting knocked over like Tua. I would play it over. It feels like a contrarian play to me. But yeah, look, Mike McDaniel's not going to get completely away from his instincts. We know what Mike is at this point. Mike's going to come out with the game plan. He's going to say nobody's going to think I'm going to throw the ball. We're going to throw the ball. And they'll try to find some other guys to get involved here. Maybe Chase Claypool can actually be a factor at some point. Remember that signing? Let's get to the running back position here. The half a touchdown to me looks kind of juicy for Mostert. It's almost like a McCaffrey given at this stage. Any of you guys feel really strongly about playing him today, particularly with A-Chain being out?
Yeah, the Jets' run defense is bad. So, yes.
There's no Jeff Wilson on the board, obviously, yet. I think if A-Chain's out, they'll throw something up there for him. I like that. Anytime he's the number 2 guy, he gets some good run and he puts up decent numbers. So I could see him being at like 20-something yards and going over that.
Okay. Eric, you play Raheem?
Yeah, I mean the over on the rushing and receiving touchdowns is just like you said, it's almost a McCaffrey given at this point. I think he goes for at least one score today.
Okay.
And it's early too. They're going to drop more numbers for him in the receiving game. So I feel like his combo play, rushing, receiving, might also be a viable option when more things come on the board leading up to kickoff.
All right, so let's do this because you mentioned leading up to kickoff, and we probably aren't going to find out about Tyreek. So right now it's 10 o'clock as we're recording this. We may not find out till 11:30 or 12 or even after if he's definitely going or not.
Then the cutoff's 11:30.
Yeah. So all right. Let's give it. And again, he can be active and not play a lot too. I mean, they could keep him active as more of a decoy, which wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. All right. So let's look at it both ways here. Let's say that he's active. Okay. Do you play him under any circumstances? Because the number's obviously going to be lower than it would have otherwise been. So is anybody playing him over regardless? Like, let's say, I mean, last week he was like 102.5 receiving yards or something was his prop, right? So, I mean, I let's say he's coming in 77.5. You guys playing that?
No. I would look at his first two catches, whatever that number is.
Isn't it what we talk about with the injury? Like, it's not so much. I mean, obviously, we're worried about the injury to begin with, but you know, if something happens in the second quarter and they don't play him the rest of the game, or I mean, obviously, you get a reboot at that point, but it's too tempting to stay away at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you can promise me that we're gonna get Tyreek for 4 quarters, then I would go over something like that. But it's touch and go with that right now.
All right. So would you play Waddle, whether he plays or not? Yes.
I like him more if Tyreek plays.
Yeah.
I would like him on targets at least for sure because Tua's accuracy was off last week. So let's see how accurate Tua is. But if he's going to lean on Waddle, if Tyreek is not 100% or not out there at all, he's going to look to Waddle because he doesn't have that second person after Waddle really, maybe Berrios to lean on. So I'm curious to see, like you said, maybe a Claypool. They could dust off Durham Smythe for a run out there. Who knows? But his completion number is low too on Tua. I think
Berrios revenge game
could be.
Yeah.
Could be. My concern about Waddle too, though, is that I don't know. I always feel like he's going to get hurt too. Like
we can't play like that though. You can't play scared.
I know, but I am.
And I'm going to.
It's December with the Dolphins. That Waddle's going to get hurt today, right?
I'm taking that Tua over half an INT.
Oh yeah,
Ethan. All of this is recorded, so you saying Tua is good with the injuries and Waddle's going to get hurt. You're setting yourself up.
Yeah, this is.
We call that in a hurry.
Freeman, I went the opposite direction with those two, right? Like I said, Tua with the injuries, so now he is going to get hurt. So Waddle's going to get hurt. Now he won't. You know how that works. All right, let's. Is anybody playing Jason Sanders?
Yeah, I had 6.5 kicking points.
6.5 points.
Look, I don't think they're going to score as many touchdowns. They're not going to have a Fail Mary or whatever you want to call it.
But it's also windy, David.
They'll get a couple inside the 5-yard line. Maybe he can kick like a 12-yard field goal. I don't know. They'll get it.
That's assuming they don't go fourth and goal.
No,
McDaniel has been kicking field goals. That's the one thing I will say. He's been a little bit more accepting of the 3 points. Knowing points are important. So.
All right. Well,
he's going to want to get close. So I feel better about Sanders close.
Okay. Well, that's yeah. I mean, he has been over of late. I tell you, the Tua. I hate to say it, the Tua half an interception prop. I think is the best prop on the board right now. Let's pivot real quick. I want one pick on the Jets. I'll just give you mine. I'm going to go for Breece Hall. I know he didn't have a big game the last time, but he did the time prior against them. What is it? 52.5, 53,
59.5.
59.
43.5 regular, 59. I'm sorry, on the Demon.
I might even play the Demon. For those who aren't familiar with the Demon, we got into it the last time. You get better odds on them. But I mean, look, he's been down a lot lately. I would just play the regular prop on him just to be safe. He'll get in the high 40s in rushing.
What is it? The payout is higher, I think, right?
Yeah, the payout is higher on the no. On the Demon or the guy? I'm sorry. I'm
On the Demon.
The Demon's are red, so it depends on
Yeah.
what else you have it mixed with, what the payout's going to shake out to.
Correct.
If you have some green and some red, or you have some standard and some red, or whatever, it's all arbitrary based on what you select
Right.
within the entry.
First of the Quest the Demon.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just gonna
Sauce
take,
Gardner,
I'm just gonna
3.5
take before you
tackles seems like a gimme. Sauce Gardner, 3.5 tackles.
That sounds fair. Well, I mean, he's going to tackle before the ball gets there. That's what he
That
does.
counts. I think that
I don't
counts.
think that counts. Yeah.
It does. Pass interference count. They should have a pass interference stat.
Not called
They
pass
need a
interference.
penalty stat. They need a penalty stat.
Oh, I'd
You know
love
what?
that.
They got enough props. I'm so confused. When we started this thing like 2-3 years ago, I was like, all right, rushing yards, passing yards, receiving yards, single player. That's it. Hey, combine them with LeBron James if you feel like it. But yeah, there's been a lot more there. All right, Eric, what do you like on the Jets side?
I'm actually going to stay with Breece Hall. I'm going to go to receiving yards, 28.5. Zach Wilson is going to be checking it down to Breece quite a bit, and he's been over that number a lot lately.
That looks pretty. Yeah, that looks pretty juicy. I might play that. I'm writing that one down. All right, I'm writing that down. All right, anything, Freeman, before we close?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine is off the board now, so that means it was an amazing pick, obviously. Dalvin was over 5.5 rushing attempts, I believe, but I think it came down before we started. I mean, I like the Dalvin stuff regardless, but what's Zach Wilson at rushing?
He's got no attempt. No, there's no attempt play for Dalvin right now. 4.5
Yeah, it was there.
receiving.
Take my word for it. It was there. Yeah, what's Zach Wilson at rushing?
14.5.
Sure, I'll take that.
I can't believe they're back to Zach Wilson. It's just like, oh my God.
I'm pretty sure Zach Wilson can't believe they're back to Zach Wilson.
I don't think. I mean, seriously, if you're Zach Wilson, just like walk off the field. That's it. Just that'll be the end of it. All right, I will give one prop I like a lot today. Off the board, I just got a feeling about Debo today. Debo Samuel today was like 56.5 receiving yards. I think he crushes that.
58.5.
58.5. Yeah, I'm playing that one today. Yeah, there you go.
That looks nice.
Yeah,
I like Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins revenge game today.
Oh yeah, I will.
He's
tell
at
you,
only 4.5. Yeah, he looked good last week. So
he looked really good. He looked really good. So
I'm gonna take this over 4.5 against Houston.
Yeah, that seems.
Why are we talking about the Titans? I hate you guys.
Because
remember the Titans.
We remember the Titans. That's right. Exactly. We're gonna try to misremember the Titans. All right, guys, we appreciate it. Did I not mention to use the code 5? Oh my God, I got through this entire show. All right.
It's on the bottom the entire time. It's there.
I put it there on the bottom. Just
all right. You use the code 5, get that initial deposit matched up to $100. All right, we're gonna get our picks up here on Twitter X as well. Thanks to David, and Eric. It's nice to have Eric on here, so I don't have to always go by the last names. Have a good day, everybody.